I'm Shannon. We are at STEM Salon in Walnut Creek, California, and today I'm talking about deleting some of your followers. You don't necessarily want a ton of followers. This whole thing is about community. And how can you have a community with a bunch of people that aren't relevant to your business and don't care about what you're posting? So I'm going to be going over my Instagram audit technique. I know it sounds so backwards, but we need to stop focusing so much on having a ton of followers and just focus on having the right followers. I think that you will find that when you go through and you start removing some of your excess followers and all that's left is a super tight-knit community, you will be so much happier with your business and how your Instagram performs. I started building my Instagram in 2015 when I was still in beauty school, and I have kind of used Instagram to build my clientele, which is super awesome. It's an amazing, useful tool, but you have to be able to analyze your engagement and your following every so often to make sure that it is benefiting you. I have kept track of my analytics pretty much the entire past 3 to 4 years, but I saw a dip in my engagement over the last 4 to 5 months is when I gained close to 1,200 followers in a very, very short amount of time. Looking at my account now, I'm seeing a lot of those followers were not the right followers for my content. Basically what happens is, sure, you want a big following, but if they aren't engaging, it's actually driving your business down. The way the algorithm works is basically Instagram is going to show any post, any story, any kind of content you create to an initial 10% of your following. If your content doesn't perform well within that initial 10%, Instagram will not reveal that content to any more of your following, basically. If it does perform well with that initial 10%, you're gonna have your initial 10%. If it performs well, they're going to reveal it to another 10% and another 10% and another 10%. So if your engagement rate sucks within that initial 10%, that's where it stops. So that's why you want to make sure that the people that are following you are people that are engaging, that are people that appreciate and support your kind of content. So because I had a huge surge in follower count, but a huge dip in engagement rate, I went from about 10 to 15% in my engagement rate to, in the last 4 months, it's been floating between like 3 and 8% on some of my posts, which is not what I want to see. I'm going to walk you through what I'm doing to my account currently and what I will probably continue to keep doing to keep my Instagram a place where there is a tight-knit community, where there is a ton of engagement, and where people are genuinely interested in my content. I hope this is common sense now, but more followers with less engagement is not good. You want a super loyal following, even if you only have 100 followers, 200 followers. What you want is the loyalty, not the numbers. The right followers are actually going to boost your engagement because within that initial 10%, it's going to perform so well that your interest and engagement just gets bigger and bigger because Instagram knows that you are putting out content that your followers really like. This is kind of tedious, but what you have to do is you have to go into your followers and delete anybody who is irrelevant to your business. The type of followers that I am currently deleting are hair wholesalers who are selling hand-tied hair and it's not good hair, businesses that use a follow for follow technique, or even personal accounts that are using a follow for follow technique, plastic surgeon accounts that will follow me, the coffee shops that will follow me. I'm deleting bot accounts, not as in I bought them, but as in like basically they're just fake accounts that are generated for no reason. Inactive users, so anybody that looks like they have never been on Instagram or hasn't been on Instagram in a year or 2 or 3, and just other miscellaneous irrelevant accounts like people who have nothing about beauty on their page. Any men that I don't know, they're not going to get their hair done by me, so why are they following me? The common thread of all of these accounts that I just mentioned is that none of them have any reason to be following me. None of them have any desire to get their hair done by me, and my content is just not relevant to them. This is kind of how I think about it, and I think it's really helpful to categorize the people that you actually do want following you. So the people that I want following me are going to fall into one of these 4 categories. So it's all of my guests, because I love all of my guests. It's any potential guests, people that may want to get their hair done by me, or people that just like and engage with my things because they appreciate pretty hair and tutorials and things like that. It's also my friends and family, because friends and family that support me and like what I do. And then the last category of people that you do want following you is going to be industry related people, other hairstylists that do engage with your work. I feel like it's hard to get rid of stylists that are following you, but we need to think about it this way. It's good for us to support one another, but if we're just following each other and not engaging, that's not beneficial for either of us. It can't just be like, I'm following you, I did my part. Anybody that is engaging is people that you want following you, and they fall into those 4 categories. So the common thread with all of these 4 categories is that they have an actual reason to be following you and consuming your content. And that is because it is relevant to them on some level. I will just go through how I'm deleting people. So you go into your followers, and there's a new feature that allows you to remove the follower right then and there. So if something looks like a fake account right off the bat, you can just remove it. First thing that I'll do is I'll check if it's a legit account. If it's not a legit account, I'll just remove them right then and there. If it looks like a legit account, I'll keep track of their Instagram handle. I'll go through my last 10 posts, which is roughly like 2 months of posts, my last week of stories, and all of my messages. If I've never had a message conversation with you, if you haven't liked any of my content within the last 2 months, and if you haven't watched any of my stories, which probably means you're not seeing it, I will go ahead and I will remove that follower, because at that point, my content that I'm putting out is irrelevant to them, and for whatever reason, they're not seeing it or they're not liking it, so they don't need to be following me, because that just drives my engagement down. The reason I'm doing all of this is to hopefully recreate a tight-knit community of people who enjoy and appreciate and want to engage with my content. It's going to hopefully make it an easier time for me to engage with my followers, create content that is relevant to my followers, because it won't be a guessing game, and it will also make it so that my true following is able to actually see my content, because it's not going to be driven down by ghost followers. I would encourage all hairstylists to go through your Instagram. I know it's gonna feel backwards, but you need to start deleting some of those fake followers, some of the irrelevant followers, and some of the followers that just have nothing to do with you. I would really encourage you, I know it's gonna feel so weird, but to remove some of those followers. You will be so impressed with how well your Instagram starts performing after that. I'm here for you. I want what's best for you as well as for myself. That's why I'm doing this. I wouldn't be telling you to do something if I didn't actually believe that it is the right thing to do. So I'm here for you. If you have any questions, if you're having a hard time with this, please let me know, and I will do my best to support you and answer any questions that you have. I think this is an amazing technique. I think we should all be doing it. It's going to be so helpful, because you don't want a huge following, you want the right following. It's less about the numbers, it's more about your community. That's what this is all about. So let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if you want to see more content like this. But I'll see you on the next one. Bye.